We actually haven't started. We're waiting to figure out where we were at. He was explaining to me where you guys left off.
I
Yeah,
was
that
just telling them what we were talking about, and I just wanted to touch on the Saturn cycle.
What
yeah.
about it?
Yeah, no, 'cause I just started, reflecting on my own life, and when 30 hit for me, it was really different. Like my mind and my body, it like shifted into a different dimension reality. It felt like it really
You
hit me, and like
credit.
when I have these talks with people that are 30 or older, they're just like, yeah, something happened at 30. Something changed, and it's like I'm not the only one.
Can I ask, like, do you credit any of that to like physiological changes, like
Well,
anatomical and biological means too?
yeah, no, like for me, it was a couple different reasons. One was um, my degenerative disc disease started to happen at 30. Um, I was using drugs at that time, and I started to blame the universe for my miscomings. So I felt like it was like three different things that really kind of shifted my focus, my attention, my connection.
Do you know
So
what divine masculine is?
divine masculine, yeah, a little bit.
Could you explain to me like what you're under? I'm not too familiar with it, but I have a loose understanding. Like, what is that exactly to you?
I feel like that's subjective. I feel like it's up to you to decide like who you are, right? Like when you want to
I
describe who you are as a man, as a person, like that's really up to you. Like there's really no objective way to talk about it. I mean, there is, but it's like it really depends on you to give it a definition.
in my understanding, there are like certain things or practices that I guess like people in the past have written what like it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to mean. And some of them are a little like out there. Like one of them
Yeah.
is supposed to be like try to spend 30 minutes outside with your shirt off. Something with like the
Yeah.
way
I've
boosts
heard.
natural testosterone. Like
Yeah.
there was one that's like
Okay.
a cup of black coffee.
Hey, if it gets too loud, tell me. I'll walk out.
No, you're good.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. And like, so in my life, from what I've understood, is like, it's like, you know how like animals go into heat?
Yeah.
So there's like, I feel like there might be some kind of like spiritual heat or like divine heat that males and females go through at different stages in their life. And I
Okay.
feel like that synchronizes also with biology. And I think that's sometimes how you can see kids that are like 22, 23 having enlightenments that you'd see by the time they're like 30, 33, and stuff like that. But I feel like it's because you have to like almost by chance synchronize your spiritual heat with like your anatomical development, if that makes sense. So
I
like when you
get
said
it.
like you hit 30, you like hit like your spiritual thing, but then I was like, do you think that could have been anything physiological?
I
And you
think
were like,
I think they're
both.
connected.
And
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And I think that the world in its state can be so distracting that people miss that spiritual heat and only get the biological one. Like, you know how it's like your brains develop finishing as a male around like 25,
yeah,
26,
yeah,
but people don't really like you could see like a 45-year-old who's never grew up. Like I'm sure you've encountered people like that.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
but
like they
see,
just
isn't that
miss.
isn't that bullshit though? Like the whole okay,
Go
because
ahead.
I learned that too. It was the male doesn't okay, maybe the male body
Okay,
develops
so
fully at 25, but the mind can, is that
Yeah.
what
there you
you
go.
say
And
the physical or the mind?
I think it's when
so
this.
that's what
I
I'm
think
getting at.
when the spirit starts to actually grow is after your body.
And that's what I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you both are,
Okay.
like, on it, like, yeah, so the bullshit part is that doesn't mean you grow up at 25 or 26, it just means you have the hardware to grow up. It means your brain has finished
Oh,
growing,
that's good. I like
but it
that.
doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
using the full capacity of your brain, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's like you see some people get, like, a college degree and they have no common sense. It's just like, well, what did you actually learn?
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's
Yeah.
like because you have the qualifications doesn't mean you can actually function in society, you know? So it's like kinda I think one of those things. But the problem is that, like, I see, like, in society, there is no real enforcement of spiritualism outside of religion, and religion, in a lot of sense, kinda, like, closes off a lot of doors, in my point of view, to what else is out there.
Yeah,
They're kind of like
we
confined in their teachings.
we were talking about it earlier, how like Christianity
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
religion kind of tells you not to think for yourself. Like,
And I've
No, they
even seen in
say
like
transcendental
the less
meditation
selfish
is
ones,
satanic.
like Hinduism and stuff like that, and like their pantheon. It also goes the other way. It's like if they do have some divine secret, they don't necessarily expose it. It's like they almost try to confine it within their own religion
mm-hmm.
in their own way. It's like what if the Christians were teaching about the Vimana, or like
Yeah, then it would be
Well, they
shit
okay.
like
they
that.
probably are. It's just you don't have
Different
real
names.
spiritual religious teachers that are explaining things to you correctly.
Yeah,
Okay, I could say that. Yeah.
That's what I think, because when you have this mind that all of us have, you can read the Bible and you can read between the parables, you can read between the lines. But it's like if you don't have that, you haven't been through hell to understand, spirituality. Then you're going to listen to these pastors and they're going to keep you here in this 3D reality.
yeah,
I've
You know what
always
I'm
viewed
saying?
pastors and stuff like that like a nature documentary. It's like it's good in its heart, but it's still pushing an agenda one way or another,
yeah,
to like support
Sure.
for a
Yeah.
cause or whatnot. And I feel like that's a lot what I like if I did when me and Zach were in college together, we're like I don't know, these like Jews walking around and they were just like handing out tours and like just trying to get people to go. And I was like young and dismissive, and the one guy was like, "Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your life." And it was just like I was like, that was, like, great, like, I just with them, and it was just like, there wasn't any, like, resentment or anything there, but in every other encounter, it's been like they've been trying to almost, like, have me subscribe to their religion through their explanations of things. But
yeah.
what were you guys talking about in terms of Saturn? Like, what about the
This
cycles?
this Saturn return is that like when Saturn gets back, takes roughly 30 years for Saturn to return to where it was when you were born, and then
Wait, how many people are in here in
it's
this conversation right
Just
now?
2,
yeah, well,
me and
three
Zach.
three total, all of us.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But
Wait, three including me, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
and but so the like basically what uh astrology people say is that when you go through your Saturn return, it's so Saturn shows up and it has an influence on you, and this influence is basically what the planet Saturn represents, and Saturn in astrology represents the idea of things like structure, order, discipline, all these things that are in theory basically good for a person. It's also the planet of karma, and if you want to look at it like that, you could say it's karma in a sense where it rewards what is being done and it punishes what's not being done. Like if you're we talked about the idea that the biggest sin in life that people deal with that they don't know what they deal with is that they are not doing for themselves what they should be doing. And like for example, discipline. If a person's not disciplined, they're never going to really achieve the things that they want to wholeheartedly achieve, and they're not gonna. And it's a sin or it's a lack of self love to not give yourself what you deserve or what you would love to have. And the truth is, you can give it to yourself through these things like structure and through discipline, the things that Saturn rewards. And when you get to 30, this age, you start having, and I believe your body's like a celestial clock that turns with the planets. And this goes into what you said, the physiology or biological standpoint of it. For like this, and this is again the connection I've made. Astrology people wouldn't like what I'm saying would explain on a scientific point as to why they believe what they are believing. And so your body goes into this Saturn mode around your 30th birthday. And it's basically like, have I been structured? Have I been disciplined? And the answer, whether it's yes or no, isn't as important as what you will do moving forward. Like the Saturn return, it's around from 28 to 32. They say the prime of it is like your 30, but it starts really around your 29th birthday. I mentioned this to you, Jeff, when I was like initially going through it. And in the last 3 months since I've turned 29, I have felt this influence of like wanting to develop structure and willpower and discipline within my own life. And I know it's and an astrology person would say I'm feeling this because of my Saturn return. And with the Saturn return, as with any influence in life, you could either work with it or you can work against it. And you're always going to benefit more from working with it. And by being consciously aware of this influence that is being placed on you by the planet, it's like Saturn wants me to be disciplined, and it's ready to like be the wind at my back when I do do discipline. And the problem is what he was saying, why a lot of these people actually go through like tough periods in their life is because they're not, I would say that in a way that they're not ready for it, or they're not consciously aware of it. When you get to 30, it's like Saturn's going to show up with all this responsibility and all this stuff that it wants out of you. And if you don't give it to it, it's going to make your life harder than it already was. And so when people get to their Saturn return and they're not structured and they're not ordered and they're not disciplined, it's like there's going to be an uptick in that. And if they don't conform, it's going to like that's the whole point of
Make it or
punishment.
break it.
It's going to like try to tear them apart because it wants them to. It believes that they should be structured. And the less structured and disciplined you are, the harder shit's going to be for you. And that is a form of negative reinforcement to try to influence good behavior. You know, like if you continuously hit your foot on the door and it hurts, it's like, well, stop hitting your foot on the door. And that's like what it is, basically.
That's interesting.
Yeah, last 3 months.
So like it
Yeah.
coincides with the 3 life crises. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's where a lot of midlife crises come from. A lot of people around my
Because you got the quarter, the mid, and the late life crisis.
yes, the third,
And they
the
happen
second,
30, 50, and 80.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So that it explains why people go through that.
Interesting.
Hmm.
You know what? I took a hearing about this. Okay, look. So let's just put Baphomet. Y'all know Baphomet, right?
Baphomet,
As above, so below.
Mm-hmm.
As above, so below. As
Yeah.
within, so without. And all right, the esoteric is right there. You understand.
Yeah.
There's good with it, but
Yeah.
then the people who use that symbolism, there's negative. They invert it,
Yeah.
right? Like they
Mhm.
use it against us. Okay, hold on. So what? Okay, what? I'm sorry, I just
No,
lost
you're
my train
good.
of thought.
As above, so below. as within, so without.
About Saturn, right.
Yeah.
So because the whole thing behind that is Saturn worship. I understand. So like when it comes to like the esoteric about Saturn, I understand that. I respect it. I like it. I like where you're going.
Yeah.
But I guess I've kind of programmed my brain to thinking about Saturn and it's the negative side of it.
Yeah.
When it comes to how the elites use it against us, it kind of just deters me away from accepting that. But really, I should be going to it.
Dude, it's one of
I hear
those.
what you're saying.
It's one of those if you can't beat them, join them situations.
Motherfucker.
They've locked up that kind of info and they've distorted it to deter people away from it because God forbid people tap into what they're tapping into and use that power for good.
All right. Okay. So I have something to add to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the real teachings of Christ are actually Lucifer's teachings of Christ. So that might be a little.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
I'm in full agreement.
Yeah. We've had that stuff.
Okay. Good.
Mhm.
All right. Good. I didn't want to offend anybody.
No. Don't worry.
Great.
I definitely think there's some kind of like leeway in between. Like the whole religion is based around a martyr, and one of those two figures is a martyr. It's your Lucifer or Jesus, and the religion works both ways.
Yeah, no, I mean, so it makes sense. Like they would take his real teaching. That's what I was telling I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Jeff.
Jeff.
I was telling
Me?
Jeff,
I'm Jeff.
right?
Yeah.
I was telling Jeff. I was talking to Jeff before.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff. I was talking to Jeff about how they use they kind of give you a limited version of Christ in religion, and it's like.
Oh, you were talking to me, Zach, about that. Zach,
come on.
Yeah. You good. Yeah.
Zach,
I was
sorry,
like,
Zach.
you guys
So
talking to
they,
me all the time or something? Like
I'm
something
so
I
bad
don't
with
know
names.
about? No,
Don't
you
take
good.
it personal,
You're
please.
good. You're good. No, you.
Right, they give us a limited version of Christ and religion,
Mhm.
and then when you go to Satanism or Luciferianism or whatever, and then you understand like you have to live for yourself in order to live for everyone else, and it's just like holy shit, they deter you away from the real teachings to tell you it's evil, Satanism, horns, all that, but they have all the real teachings over there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be disrespectful to Christ. I fuck with Christ,
Yeah.
but like I see through all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And
My point of view is like from a distance,
yeah.
bro, the sheep and the goat look pretty damn similar.
That's
Like
not. Yeah. That's not a bad interpretation.
Fuck, I like
Huh.
that. Where'd you get that
I
from?
haven't really.
I just came up with it as you guys were saying it. I just thought about it. I was
Yeah.
like, a
That was
sheep
a
and a
that was a
goat really
download
look
from the universe.
similar.
I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like it's true. Like if nobody told me the difference and I was just looking at a herd of each, I don't think I'd be able to tell the
Bro,
difference. I know one
that's
has
that's
horns,
crazy. You
but
just said that. You okay? So like every single company like has a 666 symbolism in it. Like every major
Mhm.
company.
Yeah.
All right.
hmm
So I was looking at the Ram, the Dodge Ram, the other day, and I was like, it looked like a Ram, but then I was like, man, will they distort that? Will they make it? Will they do what you're saying into this image and make it seem?
right.
That's a thought I had.
No, I hear you though.
Yeah.
But me and him talked about the idea that they've like distorted. I think I mentioned it to you before that they distorted the whole 666. That 666. I couldn't tell you what it means, but I don't think it means the devil. And I think by telling people that it has to do with the devil, it's when people see it, they immediately associate it with the devil, and they are like, if
And yeah, they're just deterred immediately. Yeah.
yeah, like
I mean, it's the same thing with Baphomet. I mean, if you look at Baphomet, like it has the in the stomach. What does it have in the stomach?
what does it have? Is it a womb?
Well, okay, yeah, but what is it? What's in the womb?
A kid?
I gotta look.
Yeah. Go check it out.
It's funny. I was
It's the snake going up the cross. It's the not the cross, the whatever that is, the
Oh,
straight pole. But it's the Kundalini energy. And then it has the boobs, right? Which is the
yeah.
male feminine, and then the
yeah. What
animal
is it
human,
called?
right? So it embraces all the
Huh.
esoteric.
I didn't even realize it normally has that.
Yeah, so it's like not all evil,
Yeah. It definitely is.
but
He's got this. Yeah, no, that's a staff of Hermes. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So same shit.
But yeah, like if the idea that everything's like a frequency and 666 is like a frequency that people have in a way, I wouldn't say have been supposed to be aligned with. Like let's say they have been supposed to be aligned with, like that, like
Yeah,
by focusing on certain numbers, like if everything's like a code, you've seen the Matrix, right? He jokes and
of
he said,
course.
you say the
The
documentary.
documentary, the documentary.
So like in the Matrix, it's like the Matrix is made up of all these lines of codes, which is you could say just binary 0011. So everything that you look at, everything you hear, everything that you experience has one of those green lines of code, and they all represent certain things. And let's say that the 666 line of code represents something that as humans for all we know could set us free. But because they've told us that it means
Hmm.
this or that, people are like seeing it and they're like
Yeah,
they're why actually wiring their frequency against it. I think
I have like you actually said Moses last time we spoke, and I actually did think about it. The when we brought the idea of 666 not being bad, and you were explaining how it's like part of the grand illusion, like how carbon is made of six, and like
yes.
yeah,
or the parts that make up literal reality. But then like my counter, like I came up with it after we got off the call, was that like Zach is saying, it's like what you familiar with like Nikola Tesla and his work at all?
of course, a little bit.
So
Probably not as much as
three
you are,
six
but yeah,
nine, he believed the fundamental key of the universe was those three numbers. He would cycle a building 3 times before entering it, choose 66 times, like weird shit like that, right? Before
yeah,
swallowing. He was very keen on what Zach is also saying, that the universe actually functions in terms of frequencies and wavelengths. And on
hmm,
top of that, the, what if the key to the universe is actually 666? Because fundamentally, it is what composes the entirety of the universe. And like Zach is saying, like that if we've been trained to just be against it and never even look into it, we're never looking into, I guess, like, you know what I mean? Like the truth or
We'll never know in that regard. If the yeah
exactly. Because like I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like it could, because like if you look on it, I don't know if you have any background in physics or anything, but there are numbers that kind of keep coming up, and 666 isn't one of them. But like you said, your gematria, whatever your numerology does in universal
Gematria.
constants,
Yeah.
yeah, and when you reduce numbers,
Well, I mean, listen, like the elite, they rely solely on numerology. Like when you, all right, so I follow these couple guys who are like really deep into numerology when it comes to like the Charlie Kirk assassination and like
Yeah.
Trump and the days when Trump and Netanyahu were born and
Mm-hmm.
the
yeah,
time between them, and it's like it all comes out to like 666 and the 777 or something that equals 666, right? When you add it together or times it or
Yeah. You can break it
whatever.
down.
Yeah, you break it down.
I'm big on numerology and gematria, so
And that's what.
my
Okay, so
point of view on
I
that
saw.
whole
Oh,
thing was
hold
I
on.
thought,
I saw a
okay,
quote today. I'm sorry. And it said
good.
it's like millionaires don't use
see,
astrology. Okay,
billionaires
it's
do.
like billionaires do use astrology.
Yeah.
And I follow this guy named Gary's the Number Guy. You
I,
guys
I I know
call.
him. I have mixed feelings
Yeah,
about him.
yeah,
I've told Jeff
yeah.
about him too.
He called Zcash. He called in the crypto community. He called Zcash, and Zcash exploded.
Did he?
And yeah,
He has
and
me
he's talking
blocked,
about.
so I don't see what he says anymore these days. But he's the type to
No,
call
but
that stuff and then like basically be like, I called it. But there's been so many times where he calls shit and it doesn't happen, or if it goes south,
Yeah,
and then he doesn't like take any accountability for it. Like if he said,
oh,
if he,
so he made some bad calls.
oh yeah, he's made a lot of bad.
yeah,
He said like
Oh, okay.
all these people will like he's big. He believes that he can curse people, which I do. Anyone can curse
Oh yeah,
people,
that's some bullshit. Yeah,
but I
yeah.
believe curses come back around. So it's like all this stuff. He says he's cursing these people, this person, that they're gonna be broke by this year or this time, and then they're not broke by that time. They're actually their net worth is fucking doubled, and it's just like, well, what do you have to say about that? And then
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
and now I'm fucking blocked. But yeah, so and he's the type of person like if you question him, you get fucking blocked. So what does that say? Like,
Well, he's kind of using it against himself, isn't he? Because listen,
yes,
whatever you
put
wish
out
against
there,
someone else or say
you
against
wish for
someone else,
yourself.
it's gonna come back to you because everything's subjective. You live in a
Yes,
subjective world. We live in a
yes,
subjective world.
yeah.
So I might be talking to you guys, and I might be telling you all this, but really, I'm really not. I'm kind of just talking to myself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and
Your brain can't distinguish who you're
we're
talking to.
listen.
But like we like to believe that we're talking to each other, but really we're
Yeah.
talking to ourselves.
Your brain doesn't know who you're talking to. So,
Are we talking about two different things right now?
what do you mean?
What?
Like, are you talking like sounds like Zach's talking about Cartesian skepticism, and then it sounds like you're talking about like what is it called when you're the only person that exists outside of your brain?
Well, I mean
What
that's
is
what I'm
that?
talking about.
I'm
What did he?
Yeah,
What did you say he was? Zach was talking about?
like Cartesian skepticism, like nothing exists outside of your brain because everything is input.
yeah.
Well, that's the same thing I'm talking about.
I was on the impression you were talking about like the egg theory, where like you're talking to me as an incarnation of yourself, either in the past or the future, in
Oh
the
no,
same way
you're
that I'm
okay. Uh,
listening to you talk to me, and through a different incarnation of the same source.
oh shit.
Where like I agree
I
with
like to know
both of you
more
guys.
about what you're
Like
talking about.
I'm like a bit like so like that's what I thought you were getting at is like I'm you listening to you talk to me as I speak to myself. If that makes sense because we're just
Yeah.
different timelines of the same source. But then what Zach
Oh,
is trying to say is
okay.
Uh,
what I think you both were saying was like your brain is essentially in a jar. You don't see with your eyes. Your eyes receive input and your brain translates that input. So there's no way to tell we're actually having a conversation.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm saying
I
that
see what you're saying.
I'm saying psychology and like brain reinforcement. Like if you say somebody sucks, you're indirectly telling yourself that you suck.
There's a part of you that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. This is brain
Right.
science.
That's what I'm going off. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm thinking.
So are
Yeah.
we real?
That's like a different like
Oh, shit. I
conversation. I
love
don't
this.
Well,
Let's
no,
I
a
don't
go.
part of both of those theories is cogito ergo sum. If you can doubt your senses, that's proof that you're real because you're doubting the illusion.
I know nothing, therefore I am. Or I think, therefore I am.
Oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Means if you can doubt, you are real. That's the other half of it. That's like saying blood is thicker than water, but not saying the rest of the sentence.
Wow. Where was it? What is this theory you're talking about? Where can I find this?
Which one? Cartesian skepticism by Rene
You
Descartes.
messaged that in the app, so I
Yeah.
got that, so I can look it up later.
It's what Rene Descartes like coined this whole thing is before he
Yeah.
created the X and Y plane for
I,
math.
I, I know which one he's talking to. I'll make sure to send it on Twitter too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
But yeah, he proved the existence of something by doubting everything. By choosing to believe that nothing is real, you know that at least yourself, in a weird way, is real.
You know, people credit him in the 1600s for writing the original script of the Matrix. Like, do you know, or, like, the story about like the mad genie, the magician?
No.
He had this thought experiment where he was like, there is no way to prove that everything we see isn't some illusion cast by some spell by an evil wizard, right? And he
Oh,
was saying it's like because you can't actually see because he understood the senses, like you don't taste with your tongue is outside of your brain. So he came up with the idea how the Matrix has you in jars. He literally thought of the concept of having a brain in a jar with a bunch of essentially wires attached to it that fed you the input based on what spells the wizard wanted to put on you. You modernize that with computers and AI and coding and stuff like that, but him and his concept, the way he broke and able to prove that that wasn't happening is the fact that you can deny your senses. And that's where he came up with, I think, therefore I am. Because if you can deny, like, so he brought the idea originally is like, have you ever heard somebody call your name and you turn around and nobody's there? Or you go
Yeah.
and tap on somebody's shoulder and it's not the person you thought it was. It's because you doubted your senses failed you. And because your senses failed you, it shows that you're a thinking thing. And therefore you are real if you're able to doubt.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
So I deal with
So
it
that's
all
what
the
I'm saying.
time
And
when
then they
I hear.
modernized it and turned it into the Matrix movie. So yeah, it is a documentary, like you said.
There you
A
go.
350-year-old documentary. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the creators? Well,
Which craters?
the post creators turning trans.
Wait, what?
Oh shit! Y'all don't know?
Yeah.
I didn't
You
really hear what you
explain.
said. Somebody coughed. Yeah,
Oh
I
man,
don't keep up
y'all
with
really
current events.
okay?
Really.
Look this up right now. The two guys that created the movie The Matrix are now transgender.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I know that.
yeah. Oh,
I guess they didn't get out of the Matrix, huh?
Matrix got him.
I think the Matrix got him. I mean, if it's something like that, it just sounds like it's to honestly discredit their credibility publicly.
For all we know, they got hijacked.
Wow. I mean, that's
Finish
so
that
deep.
later.
That's
I'm
so
on the phone.
deep to think about that. Like, like to deter people from
I mean, isn't that
actually
one of the
thinking
things
outside
they
the
do?
box. It's
Is
like,
like public humiliation or something,
Yeah.
along with like the
fuck,
sacrifice and shit. There's
man.
different forms
Something
of
like
it,
this.
right?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they
Can
spoke the
you like
truth.
if you
There's a
sell your
punishment
soul
for
and then
that.
you have to tell your so like there's a bunch of things, right? Public humiliation, your son or daughter has to turn trans, or you have to sacrifice one of your sons or daughters. It's like holy
Somebody's
shit, like
bloodline, yeah.
this deal doesn't end.
No.
It
I
don't
guess we're
end.
lucky they got to him after, not before they made the movies, right?
Yeah. Right.
Right. But then they have to tell you. They have to tell you the truth.